Imagine this. You are sitting on your couch late at night, just scrolling through your phone to unwind, and suddenly you see it. A sleek, matte black gadget that promises to solve a problem you didn't even know you had 5 minutes ago. Your heart skips, your thumb hovers, and before your logical brain can even protest, you have already hit the buy button. You feel a rush of pure electricity, a high that lasts for exactly 3 seconds before the crushing weight of guilt starts to sink in. But what if I told you that moment of weakness was an accident? What if I told you that your brain was surgically targeted by a team of elite psychologists whose only job is to make you spend money you don't have? You think you are in control of your choices, but you are actually a puppet in a high-stakes game. The first thing you need to understand is that your brain is hardwired for the hunt. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors got a hit of dopamine for finding rare berries or tracking a deer across the plains. Today, that same chemical reward system is being ruthlessly triggered by a limited-time offer notification flashing on your screen. Retailers have figured out that the anticipation of a purchase is actually far more addictive than the product itself. When you see a countdown timer ticking away in bright red, your brain enters a state of hyperarousal. Your logical prefrontal cortex, the part of you that knows you need to save for rent, gets bypassed entirely. You are literally in a trance, driven by a primal urge to secure a resource before it's gone. It is a chemical hijack that turns rational people into frantic, impulsive spenders. Walk into any major retail store, and you are entering a literal psychological maze designed to drain your wallet. Have you ever noticed that the most expensive items are always perfectly at eye level? This isn't a coincidence. It is called the golden zone. Brands pay millions of dollars just to have their products placed in that specific 4-foot window where your gaze naturally falls. Meanwhile, the budget-friendly options are tucked away at the very bottom, forcing you to work harder to find them. And notice the music playing in the background. If it is slow and soulful, you will spend nearly 30% more time in the store, drifting through the aisles like a ghost. They want you to lose track of time, to forget the outside world, and to succumb to the carefully curated environment. You aren't just shopping, you are being processed. Let's talk about the sneaky trick that gets you every time. The decoy effect. Imagine you are buying a coffee. A small is $4 and a large is $7. Most people choose the small, but then the shop introduces a medium for $6.50. Suddenly, the $7 large looks like an incredible bargain, and the medium exists only to make you feel like a genius for spending more money. This is happening at every car dealership and every software checkout page you encounter. They aren't trying to sell you the middle option. They are using it as a psychological weapon to force you toward the most expensive choice. You walk away feeling like you outsmarted the system, but the company just tripled their profit on your order. The scariest part is that you will probably thank them for the deal. Have you ever felt a sudden wave of warmth when you see a brand from your childhood? That is not just a sweet memory. It is a strategic strike on your emotional defenses called nostalgia marketing. When we feel nostalgic, our brain releases oxytocin, which makes us more trusting and significantly less concerned about our bank balance. Corporations spend billions researching the exact colors and fonts that make you feel safe and protected. They are literally weaponizing your happiest memories to get you to open your wallet. You aren't buying a vintage-style hoodie because it is high quality. You are trying to buy back a fleeting moment of your youth. It is a cynical exploitation of your heartstrings, turned into a metric for a quarterly earnings report. They know that if they can make you cry, they can make you buy. Right now, there is an invisible digital twin of you living in a massive server farm. This artificial intelligence knows your heartbeat, your sleep cycle, and exactly what time of day you're most likely to feel lonely. Why does that matter? Because lonely and tired people are statistically more likely to make impulse purchases. Algorithms are now sophisticated enough to show you an ad for a luxury item at the exact moment your willpower is at its lowest. You think it is a coincidence that you saw an ad for those expensive sneakers right after you had a stressful day at work? It is not. It is a calculated, data-driven attack on your vulnerability. Your phone is a 24/7 surveillance device reporting your psychological weaknesses to the highest bidder. You are being watched, analyzed, and manipulated every single second you are online. Let's dive into the fear of missing out. When you see a message saying only 2 left in stock, or 40 people have this in their cart, your brain flips into survival mode. This is called loss aversion. Psychologically, the pain of losing an opportunity is twice as powerful as the joy of gaining something new. Marketers use this to create a false sense of urgency, forcing you to make a decision before your brain can process whether you actually need the item. It is a high-pressure sales tactic that is moved from the car lot directly into your bedroom. They are creating a digital stampede, and you are being trampled by your own instincts. You buy the item not because you want it, but because you cannot stand the idea of someone else having it instead of you. It's total surrender. We are tribal animals at our core, and for thousands of years, our survival depended on being part of a group. This is why social proof is such a devastatingly effective marketing tool. When you see thousands of 5-star reviews or an influencer you admire using a product, your brain registers it as a safe and necessary purchase. You aren't evaluating the product on its merits. You are evaluating it based on the social status it provides. Brands don't sell products anymore. They sell entry into an exclusive club. If you don't have the latest tech or the trendiest clothes, your subconscious starts to scream that you are falling behind the pack. You are buying a sense of belonging, but the membership fee never ends. You are on a treadmill of consumption, chasing a status that is always just out of reach. The next time you find yourself standing in a checkout line with a basket full of things you didn't plan to buy, stop and take a deep breath. Look around and try to see the invisible strings being pulled by the colors, the smells, and the lighting. Ask yourself if you really want that item, or if you've just been expertly manipulated by a multi-billion-dollar machine that views you as nothing more than a data point. We spend our entire lives working jobs we hate to buy things we don't need to impress people we don't even like. The only way to break this cycle is to realize that the void you are trying to fill with shopping is exactly what they want you to feel. The most rebellious thing you can do in a world that wants you to consume is to be happy.